This video will teach you everything you need to know about keyframes in CapCut. But first of all, what even are keyframes? To make it simple, you have to imagine keyframes like markers that tell us where an object is and what is doing in a specific moment on the timeline. They are the core of motion graphics, animations, and many other cool effects that you see all the time. But obviously, we can't jump straight to that, so let's start by learning the basics on how to use them on CapCut. Let's take a simple project here, as an example. To add keyframes to our clip, we have to select it and check these boxes. They become blue when checked, and the keyframe appears also on the clip. Anyway, let's uncheck it for a moment, and focus on this area right here. Earlier, we said that keyframes give us information on what the object is doing in a specific moment. Well, this is the information we're talking about. A keyframe can tell us the position of the object on the screen, as well as the scale, color grading, and so on. Let's keep things simple though, and stick to the transform menu for now. If we wanted to move the object from right to left on the screen, for example, we would only need to change the position settings, so we can check the keyframe for that. Let's move the alien to the right. Okay, now as you can see, the position is not set to 0 and 0, and there's a keyframe here, yet the alien doesn't move. And that is because we need at least 2 keyframes at 2 different times and positions in order for the object to move. Right now, we've just set the starting point, so let's place the cursor further on the timeline, add another keyframe, and move the alien to the endpoint. And now we have it. Just like that, we can add other keyframes to move the alien again. We can do the same thing for the other properties, but we can also edit them together if necessary. In that case, we can check this keyframe at the top right corner, which will automatically check the others in the transform menu. Let's make the alien move, rotate, and change the scale in one scene. Here we go. Perfect. And that is the very base for all animations. Let's now see some cool effects that we can make using keyframes. For example, the fade in and out effect. In this case, we're going to edit the blend option. So to make the fade in effect, let's set 2 keyframes at the start of the clip, with the first one at 0% and the second one at 100%. And there we have it. For the fade out, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to place the 2 keyframes at the end of the clip, and we're going to set the blend to 100 for the first one and to 0 for the second one. Another cool effect that we can make is the zoom in and out effect. This time, we're going to change the scale of the clip. For the zoom in, we're going to set the first keyframe to 100% and a second one to a higher value. For the zoom out, we're going to do the opposite. So, set the first keyframe at over 100% and the second one back at 100. Then we can also drag the keyframes left and right on the clip if we want to change the speed of the effect, which can be useful to set a particular tone and mood when you edit the scene. We can also use keyframes to create effects with masks, which, by the way, deserve a video on their own to be truly understood. For the sake of this video, anyway, let's see how to make a wipe in and out effect using them. First of all, we're going to head over to the mask menu and add the horizontal mask to the clip. Turn the mask 90 degrees and drag it to the left side of the screen. Make sure to be at the start of the clip, then set the first keyframe. Then, let's go further on the timeline. Add the end keyframe and drag the mask to the right of the screen. And there we have it. You can do the opposite for the pan-out effect, or even make it vertical with the same process. These are just some of the many effects that you can make with this method. Let's add one last piece to the puzzle so you can really master keyframes. Let's talk about patterns. At the beginning of the video, we showed you that the single settings can be edited with keyframes from the Properties menu. But we can also have a more in-depth look at these by right-clicking on the clip and selecting Show Keyframe Animation. This way, CapCut will show us all the properties of the clip and the keyframes. As you can see, in this case, we have only the transform properties because we haven't added or edited keyframes for other properties such as masks, blend, etc. Otherwise, these would also be shown. Anyway, the important thing to know about this feature is that we can see and edit the keyframe pattern for each setting by clicking on the arrow of the layer. Now, this might seem a little complicated and confusing at first, but it's actually easier to understand than it looks. You have to think about these layers as graphs. On the horizontal line, we have the time, like the timeline, and on the vertical line, we have a range of values for each property. So these graphs show us how the value of each property changes through time using keyframes as markers. And the cool part is that we can edit these patterns. We can change the value of each property and the timing by dragging the keyframe on the graph. But we can also change the line type from linear to auto curve and free curve. And knowing how to use this last feature can really make the difference in animations. Let's take this other scene, for example. We have two cars that have been animated identically, and as you can see, they move the same way, and the keyframe pattern is linear for each one. Now let's change for one car the keyframes with the auto curve and see what happens. To do that, we have to select each keyframe and check the second option there. See, the cars start and stop at the same time and place, but the speed changes in between the keyframes. We can also set the amplitude of the curve as we like it, or we can choose between some presets. So we have an incredible tool to make our animations as smooth and as realistic as possible that can also be used for all the effects that we showed you earlier in the video. So take some time to practice with this because it's really worth learning. If you're interested, check out these videos too to discover some other effects and applications of this. And, by the way, thanks for watching up to this point. See you in the next video.